The Drive-By Podcast, episode 20, is brought to you by Playground, where the gaming experience is like no other. Check it out again this Sunday. We just debuted Chase the Ace, our brand new game show, last Sunday, and I'm there every single week as your host, Freeway Frank, so you can check it out for your shot to win a $25,000 progressive jackpot. I'm going to break it down for you a little later on during the pod as to how you could get closer to winning that money. Plus, somebody on finale night on July 3rd, after 8 weeks, will be winning. How about this? Get their lucky keys. That's the name of finale night. Lucky keys to a fully electric Mazda MX-30 GT worth $40,000. You can check out all the details at playground.ca. And again, listen in a little later on during this podcast. I'm going to tell you more about Canada's premier destination for gaming, Playground.
This is the Drive-By with Freeway Frank.
David Lacopo is at my house. David, nice to finally meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for having me. It's a great pleasure.
You've sent some DMs to me via my Instagram account, and we've been going back and forth, and I've been following you on your Instagram. You're a very interesting guy, and we share a lot in common because we both grew up as Italian Montrealers. But then you took a totally different road. Not to say that, you know, my road's better, your road's better, whatever, but you decided to seek a more spiritual road. You became a spiritual teacher and a meditation master. That's the right title. And a shaman. Mm-hmm. So before we get into any of that, because I can't wait, and I know a lot of people are excited to hear more about this. I want to learn about all this stuff. I'm going to ask the stupidest questions and get the most intelligent answers, of course. So I apologize ahead of time because there's so many things. I've learned a little about mindfulness. I've read The Art of Happiness by the Dalai Lama, but there's so much more I need to do to be enlightened, and that's why you're here today, to do that for all of us. So just a little background on what led you down this road and how it all started for you.
Exactly. Just to give a quick summary, this wasn't actually by choice. It's not something I chose when I was young. I want to have a spiritual path. It actually started when I was 9 years old, and it started with the experience called the Dark Night of the Soul. So when I was 9 years old, I had this experience where for an entire week, every time I closed my eyes or I would go to bed, I would just find myself in outer space, in complete darkness, and I would just see the earth fading away. And I would feel my family, my friends, everyone I knew, just their lives keeps going, their life ends, and then just disappear. And I'm just left by myself in space. And time just continues and moves on without me. And I could never be part of that. And that was traumatizing for me, and it lasted for an entire week. But after this experience, I woke up the next morning, and there's an angel next to me. And the angel was holding this sort of sphere of light, and she lowered it upon my head. And now as she lowered it on my head, I just sort of started getting a download of divine knowledge.
How did you know, again, stupid question number one, how did you know at 9 years old it was an angel? Because you were told what an angel looked like in your upgrade. You were brought up Catholic.
Yes, exactly.
So you saw an angel.
Okay.
But explain that.
My whole path was very progressive. So I only found out things as the time goes by. So I knew there was someone that appeared. I didn't know it was an angel, but I just started receiving this understanding on life and the afterlife.
Messages?
Yeah, I would actually hear them or see pictures, sort of creating a storyline.
Okay.
Or just a concept just gets downloaded in my head. But just after that first event, it was happening every single morning. I'd wake up and there's just someone. I didn't know it was an angel back then. I just knew there's someone here and they're bringing me some knowledge. Okay, so I would keep it to myself. And that continued for my entire life. But as I kept getting older and older, the experiences started getting less frequent. So maybe once a week, then once a month. But I never spoke about it. I never talked to my dad about it.
Was it because we were brought up with, you know, an Italian background, Italian parents who are very proud people, immigrated here to Canada, and any of this stuff would be considered complete silliness and lunacy
exactly.
to them, right?
And not only that, then I was having premonition as a child of things that would happen to, my cousins, my family members, my friends, and I didn't know how to cope with that.
Things before they happen,
yes, I would happen, and even till now, they still happen, but back then, I didn't know how to handle that. This was so surreal. the only thing I knew was, the priesthood. Maybe I should go into the priesthood because there's so much that's happening that I might be crazy. But if I join the priesthood, that's going to sort of help me, because all the family talks about is the church and, priests, and they're the closest to God. So that was, for me, it's like a safe blanket. If I do that, maybe I could be forgiven and I'm not sinning. But definitely everything that was happening for me, I kept it, bottled up inside. Up until I was 18, then things got even more intense. So at 18 years old, I woke up now one morning and the angel is there. And now she tells me, okay, just don't get up. Just lie on your back, close your eyes, and just focus on your breathing. And as I kept doing that, I started feeling sort of the world around me just sort of became lighter and lighter. And I was feeling like I was levitating. And then I was gone. It's like I was taken elsewhere. Consciously, I was brought to a different state of consciousness. Okay. Now I understand what happened. And as of that moment, now through my meditation sessions, the angel now was bringing me to a higher state of consciousness to be able to receive larger concepts of the universe and the soul and light and darkness, and Mother Nature, Mother Earth. Whereas in before, when I would get these, random downloads, it was just really sort of tiny bits of information. Now that I'm able to raise my state of consciousness and reach these higher realms, I was receiving this. It's like watching an entire film and learning from this, and just keeps getting bottled up inside.
And David, is this because some people will say you just have something special about you, or can we all learn this? Because that's what I'm curious about. You have the gift, but can I learn what you're experiencing?
This is exactly why I started the Golden Light Academy last year, is because this is a gift anybody could learn. Anybody, what I'm trying to do is help everyone raise their state of consciousness.
Because anybody could do that.
Yes, and then reach enlightenment, which is the union with your higher self. And once you reach that, your higher self is your most powerful guide in life. And you'll receive all the wisdom and understanding you need in this specific life to accomplish anything that you desire and to grow spiritually. So that's something I do help everyone, is how do you accomplish all these things that I do. But yes, for me, it started as a child, and I only found out in 2019 why everything happened. That, for me, my big enlightenment moment happened in 2019. And that's when I realized everything. But just to go back to my story, when I was 18, I started having these more powerful meditation experiences where I'm reaching higher state of consciousness and I'm having these now amazing spiritual experiences out of this world and learning so much. And then everything just ended. I felt all the light in my life completely disappear. And then I had a 15-year dark chapter that began. And only now do I understand that I needed to have this dark chapter, to really, and I struggled for many years with depression, mental health. But even more beyond that, I reached really lower states of consciousness where I was being tormented by, dark energies, entities, demons, if we can say. But I had to have this experience in order to learn how to overcome them, so I can then be able to help others overcome these obstacles as well.
Here's what I'm trying to understand. Some people go through this, they don't know why they go through it. You say you've gone through a 15-year dark chapter in your life. For the people, that would be watching this, or myself, I've had some dark moments, low moments, but not 15 years. Mm-hmm. So does it happen to certain people because of the way, again, another stupid question number 2, because their brains are a certain way, their conscious state of consciousness is not developed at a level as yours? Why does it happen? Why are some people prone to a level of, and I don't mean any disrespect when I say this, mental instability, mm-hmm. and some people are just naturally more stable? Is that chemically in our bodies, or?
No, I don't believe in any of that being chemical or the brain. It's just, how long does it take you to realize?
We all have that yes. ability to realize.
Of course. Okay. And it's how long is it going to take you to realize, and then to say, okay, this is enough.
I got it.
I need to step forward.
Yeah.
Because during this 15-year dark chapter, this was all on the spiritual world. Because again, we need to understand that our reality in this life is not only physical. There's a huge spiritual reality with light and darkness, with enlightened higher souls and darker entities. And there's a balance of these, and we need to be aware of them to understand them. So in the spiritual realm, I was in a really low state of consciousness. But on the physical reality, I met my wife. It was fabulous. I got married. I was in a band for 12 years. Things were going great. But because I was so attached to the materialistic, physical aspect of life, I was in a band. I wanted to make it rich and famous. I was, my objective in life was just money and fame. That kept me on this lower state of consciousness. And only after I got married and I really hit this rock bottom and I started having these really deep, negative, terrifying experiences that I said, I can't do this anymore. I have to find a way out of this. And the only thing I knew, being very religious growing up, was the Bible. So my wife bought me the Bible. So all I did was, for the next couple of years, I just studied the Bible. I quit the band. I quit everything that kept me on this physical, materialistic, type of consciousness, and I just studied the Bible. And then after 2000, I think it was 2009, I started studying the Bible. 2010, I made a 4-year oath to God. I said, this is my journey now.
So you believe in a higher power, supreme being? Because most people...
Yes.
Silly questions?
No, it's not a silly question. For me, again, in 2019, where I actually experienced my true enlightenment moment, when you reach enlightenment is when you truly understand the real concept of God.
All the religion, it's not what we think it is.
No, it is not what we think it is. All the religions have truth in them, but they're all contained in a box. And the only way where you can get away from this box and really understand what life is, who God is, what God is through your higher self. So this is my journey, is to help you reach this moment of enlightenment. And once you experience God, that's when all the actual reality is completely shattered. But it's a beautiful experience, because once you have this experience, the only thing that concerns you now is just the greater good of all. You just want to help. You love. You're filled with love. You chose to be in this experience of life, and you understand why you came here. You understand what your purpose was. So everything is just now beautiful. You're no longer attached to any fears, to any materialistic pleasures or obsession or temptation. It's really, how can I help? And this is where, this big shift in consciousness happens when we reach enlightenment.
We all like nice things. People work hard. Some people, do more with less. Some people do less with more. But it doesn't necessarily mean because you have a certain amount of money, right? Or don't have it or have it, that you can't reach these levels of consciousness. Of course not. This is open for everyone.
It's open to everyone. Something that I always teach is almsgiving. So almsgiving, something
is giving things to food or money or something to people.
Give what you have to others that have a greater need for it.
Yeah.
Openly. Don't measure your portion. If you can, if someone needs it more than you, just hand it out with love because you want to help. So the more money you have, enjoy it. That you deserve it. You accomplished hard. You work hard.
But
give and help, because there's so many people out there that don't have anything. And the more you give now, the more you're making sort of a spiritual commitment with your higher self now, saying that I do believe in the greater good of all. And just by doing this act now of almsgiving, you're actually opening this channel with your higher self, and you're actually manifesting more for yourself. So it's a real process that happens once you believe in what you're doing, believing in the greater good of all and helping and participating in this.
But so you grew up Catholic, okay? So were you an altar boy?
No.
I was an altar boy. Okay. So I grew up, with a Catholic background, really innocent till a certain age. I don't even want to say it, but till it's like my parents didn't talk to me about anything. So when I got to a certain point in my 20s, moved to Vancouver, then a big trip came. I went to Thailand. Okay, that's why I had all these preconceived notions about David before he got here, because I was like, oh, he shaved his head. Maybe he doesn't drink. Maybe he's vegan. It's crazy how we all do that, And that's not true at all, because you could still do the things and enjoy some things in life without going overboard and then sticking to what you're about, which is the spiritual journey. But I felt like I was enlightened when I went to Thailand. It's hard not to go to Thailand and visit, some of these monasteries and meet some of the monks who are so compassionate and just
it's a humbling experience.
Yeah, and they're living in the moment.
I was also in Thailand and also Bali with my wife.
Okay, there
it happens. It happens naturally by seeing. I mean, the people in Bali, you've never experienced human love. That it's pure. Just speaking or just being with them. It's hard to explain. But just that experience is enlightening on its own.
Yeah.
But this enlightenment that we're speaking about is different than actually having our own personal experience of enlightenment, whereas reuniting with our higher self.
Right.
So this enlightenment that we're speaking of, it's actually helping us see a higher state of consciousness that we are not currently aware of.
But going to Thailand is where I felt I needed to learn more about this, spiritual journey, even though after reading a bit of your background and seeing what you do, that's incredible. And is this what you do full time, or do you do something else?
No, I do other stuff.
You have another career.
Yeah,
and this is more, but this is not a hobby, because looking at what you do, and reading even your biography and your is it a school? What's it called again?
The Golden Light Academy. So this is what I launched last year to help as much as I can, to give back, because everything I do now is I'm still growing and reaching further and further, but I want to take this knowledge and help as much as I can here on within this world. So that's why through my academy, I there's so many free spiritual growth programs. I'm trying to put everything as much as I can available for free. So you can read, learn on your own. And then, of course, I have private sessions where if someone needs me as a personal guide, where I'm also available. But that's exactly what I'm trying to do, is bring as much knowledge as I can.
Yeah, because it's you might have a full-time career, but this is not something you could do part-time, right? Because the journey is the moment, and you're in the moment, and you're trying to teach people what this is all about. And it's time consuming, and if I'm not mistaken, takes a lot of energy, right? Like you must be really tired after you do these readings or you talk to people, these sessions.
Not necessarily. Like if I'm doing a healing or a guidance session, because let's say we're doing a healing or a channeling session, and I'm acting only as a guide to your higher self, and I'm channeling this energy and then giving that towards you. So I'm benefiting also from this energy. So that's energizing.
It's helping you.
It's helping me as well. But so it's funny because it's not a part-time job, because this has been full-time for me 24/7.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. You're
and
living
most of the time I don't sleep at night. I go to bed, but my consciousness is gone though. And I'm traveling, and I know every morning I wake up and I talk to my wife, and I felt like yesterday was a lifetime ago, because what I just went through, let's say the past 8 hours, it's as if I went back to a previous lifetime that lasted 40 years. And now I'm back. And sometimes when I first get up in the morning, sometimes it's difficult, right? To just, take a moment to, this is reality, this is today now. But I have a lot of these experiences where I reach these higher realms. And sometimes it feels like maybe just last 10 minutes, or depending my session, 40 minutes. But in the spiritual realm, it might be like years, maybe. I'm constantly with this connection, but that's because I made the choice now, not only sort of to have this connection with my higher self, but once that's been established, then I made a connection with, as we spoke about before, but with God. So what more can I do? And once you make this commitment where I want to channel as much as I can to bring to the humanity, then things just progress further and faster, and you start receiving all these messages, but all these sort of tasks that I need to complete. And it's I can't doubt it, I can't question it. I decided to serve, and now I'm a channel, and I keep receiving. And sometimes I wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning, and I tell my wife, okay, I got to go down. I don't know when I'll come back.
Do you take down notes?
I have books and books of content, of everything. I have to write down as much as I can. But this is how, I cope with my family. I have 3 kids. I have a full-time job. I have this part of me that's been with me since I was a child. But just to go back a bit now, so that because it's always been with me, but I never spoke about it. It's always been deep inside, because I was scared. People would really think I was crazy.
Well, that was going to be my next question. There must be some people, coworkers, friends, family, who think this guy's not.
Every time I would slip something and I would say something that happened, or I think this is going to happen, and then it happened.
Like what? Well, what's an example of you would say something that they would say? What's he? This guy's not.
Yeah. Sometimes I remember telling my some family members, okay, but maybe we should be home because someone's going to come into your home and rob your house. And while we were on vacation, and then as we were back home, they got broken in, they got robbed. But my most powerful premonition that happened was with my son. My first son, when he was in daycare, I remember we dropped him off at daycare in the morning. I go to work, and during this time, I'm still processing everything as it's happening. But I remember as I'm doing this data analyst for a client, I'm really deep thinking to something, and then it's as if I just got hit in the head with the daycare. This urgent message I was receiving, the daycare. But because again I was very I reacted on my emotion. I panicked because my son's in the daycare. Something must have happened. So I'm like, okay, no, I'm just being crazy. So I put it aside and I just kept working on my thing. And then it hit me again. And the energies became more and more powerful. And then I'm like, okay, something doesn't feel right. So I'm like, okay, I'm crazy, but I'm just going to do it. So I get in the car. I drove to the daycare just to make sure that everything is fine at the daycare. There's nothing crazy happening. So I went to the daycare. I went in. Everything's fine. My son's taking a nap. Everything's beautiful. I'm like, okay, I'm really crazy, man. I really thought I was losing my head. Because I kept getting these urges it's overwhelming the energy. So I get back in the car, I drive home, I drive back to work, and as soon as I open I walk into my office, my employee runs up to me, he's like, Dave, is your son okay? Is your son okay? I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, you didn't hear about the daycare, what just happened? He's like, what are you talking about? I was just there, everything's fine. He's like, no, there was this old woman that was parked at the parking lot. Instead of going reverse, she went on forward and she smashed through the daycare, and 3 kids were sent to the hospital.
After you left?
Hold on a sec. My heart just stopped. I felt like inside I died because I was just there. How can this just happen now? And then when I went to look right away what happened, he showed me that right away what happened on the news, and it was the daycare right next to my work. So it was the daycare. So there's my son's daycare on De Laurentides.
Wow.
Then there's on Saint-Martin. So right opposing there was the daycare. And it happened just there. So that's why I was keeping all these things in, because I don't know what to make of them. Am I crazy? So because of my emotions, instead of channeling the message, okay, take a moment, what is going on? Trying to understand the message I'm receiving. I had my son in daycare. I panicked. I rushed. I ran. So that's why only now I learned how to work with these energies and these messages.
And decipher what exactly is happening.
Because you have to be able to be in full control of your thoughts, your emotions, to really discern. And then you have to first of all be able to reach this higher state of consciousness to be able to truly channel the message. Because usually everything is symbolic. You're receiving everything as symbols. And sometimes you have no idea what they mean, or it's confusing. So when you have this direct connection with your higher self, it's like everything's translated for you. So it's very easy and clear to understand. So that's one, powerful premonition that I guess my most powerful one that I received. But then once I reached 2012, that's when I chose, after reading the Bible for 3-4 years and studying, that's when the light actually came back. And that's when I was actually able to face my fears, my inner demons, and end the dark chapter. But not because it lasted 15 years, and it's just because that's how long it took me, because for me to click and to realize what is all this, why is it happening? Because I chose to make that work. Mm-hmm. If I would have studied the Bible and quit the band after 2 years, it would have ended after 2 years. It's free will, right?
Yeah,
you choose
absolutely.
as you want with it.
Yeah.
So then that happened. So it's fantastic now, because I ended this dark chapter and I see the light. And it's like I opened something I shouldn't have, because now the light and the energy started pouring in so much. And because I wasn't sharing anything, I broke down. I had an emotional breakdown. I was hospitalized because I was just bottling everything so much inside. And
what year was this? You were hospitalized?
2013.
Okay.
December 2013. And that's when I teach about healing. Healing is all about When I mean we go through life from 7 to 29 years old, that's really our shadow years. We have all kinds of crazy experiences during these years. And we suppress a lot of emotions, experiences, and traumas. And as we get to our learning years from 30 to 39, we have the opportunity now to learn from these experiences, but we need to release these suppressed energies. Because if we don't release them, your body will break down. You'll have a nervous breakdown, or your physical body will release these suppressed energies through either diseases or who knows what other way, but your physical body is going to release them somehow. So that's what happened to me in 2013, not because of, things that happened to me that's on the physical plane, but everything, all the spiritual energies I was holding on to, and I was never releasing it. And I broke down. So that was December 2013. And then we get into 2014, and that's when I said, that's when I'm receiving the guidance now. Fuck, you got to start talking. You got to start releasing it, because you're not going to survive. So that's when I chose to, I got to sit down first and talk to my wife about it. And so that was a big, she freaked out. She freaked out. It's only normal. Everything I was telling you, what I was seeing and speaking and receiving.
Is she open to this now, or
now,
maybe
now,
not at the beginning?
No, not at the beginning.
Beginning, she thought, who did I marry here?
It was that's it. It was crazy. So that was now in 2014. So I started speaking out, but then that wasn't enough, because then by 2017, that I started getting even more messages now where, okay, you got to start. You have to go out public. You have to just share your story, whatever it is, talk. You have to talk, because I made a choice now to help, and I got to spread the message. I got to do something. I got to share the knowledge, and I wasn't doing it. I was going to have another breakdown. So that's when I said, okay, I'm going to start doing a festival. I'm going to do a festival, because at that time, when I was doing tarot, that's when I really believed that, tarot is not for divination. It's not for fortune telling. I mean, yes, people use it for that.
Some people do, most people, right?
Yes.
For that, but you don't do it.
And what's misleading about it is that your current thoughts, your emotions, your actions, your hopes and dreams, those are what's shaping your future at the moment. If you choose to change any of that, you're going to start changing your future. So if I'm doing a reading for you now with tarot, I'm channeling your higher self and showing you where you're headed. If you want to believe that and you think this is divination, that's you. I'm saying what your future is. You're actually manifesting that possible future. I didn't see your future and telling you what's going to happen to you. I'm showing you where you're headed towards.
But can you see the future or no?
No, because I could see where you're headed.
But that's not the purpose of this.
No, of course not. Because what I do is I'll show you where you're headed.
Okay.
If you like where this is headed, keep doing what you're doing. If you don't like where you're headed, I'm going to teach you how you can use tarot now just for yourself to channel your higher self and to speak with your higher self and to understand what changes can you start doing today that's going to alter that future. So you're in control. It's your free will. So that's why in 2019, I was hosting this international festival on tarot to break the misconceptions of tarot, to really teach everyone that this is a tool that's going to bring you your unique wisdom and understanding that you need. And it's wisdom and understanding that's aligned with your personal state of consciousness. So it's really, you're doing this reading for yourself. The information is coming from your higher self, and it's directed only to you. It's unique for you. You can use it for spiritual growth. As we can talk about it later, we can use tarot. I teach a 22-day contemplation exercise, 10 minutes a day. And within 22 days, you'll raise your state of consciousness. And if we talk about, let's say, mental health and the state of consciousness, like I said, during my dark chapter, during my 20s and my early 30s, I struggled with depression, anxiety, and panic attacks. But I understand now that what happened was, once I got open to this dark chapter and all these negative energies and entities are around me, I didn't know of any of the exercises that I do now that would have helped me just raise myself back up. Because now if it happens, within 10 minutes, I'm back up and I'm good. But back then, I didn't know anything. So the more I went with it, the more I went deeper and deeper and deeper. And it's like you're falling in an endless tunnel, an endless pit of darkness. And that's what depression is your state of consciousness just keeps dropping and dropping and dropping. And you're reaching this really low state of consciousness. And you can stay there for life. And, you go on medication and it'll numb all the pain. But now what I teach is that you reach this point and you feel like you always keep falling. I'm going to teach you now how with tarot and contemplation, a 22-day exercise, you're able to start raising your state of consciousness back to your initial state of consciousness. And when you reach this state, now you're always aware of the darkness around us. It's normal. It's 50% of reality. There's light and darkness. There's physical and spiritual. It's all around us, but you understand it, and you're able not to have it, drain your energy anymore or torment you, because if it happens, you're able to bring yourself back up. And then to go one step further now, what I teach is how to raise your vibration now. So now it's as if you reach these levels of really light and love, and you reach these states where nothing can no longer hold on to you or hold you back down. Mm-hmm. So these are powerful things that I teach. I describe the programs in detail on my website, and everything's for free. It's you go under the free resources, and I teach you how, if you're struggling with mental health, that's what I do now, what I've suffered with because I've been through it. This is the way where we're able to help, is by raising our state of consciousness and our vibration. This is how we're overcoming this darkness.
And David, now more than ever, especially during the last 2 years, people have found this darker place, right? You hear about more and more people, children too, a lot more depression.
Children specifically, I mean, ever since COVID as well, I'm being called into elementary schools because I do these teaching workshops of meditation for children from kindergarten to grade 6. I've been doing that now. I've been doing it ever since my kids started school, because I used to, first I would tell my kids' school, listen, maybe we should do a meditation workshop, see how the kids like it. And then the word would spread and schools would start calling me. But now, since COVID hit, there's more requests now for just trying to bring meditation, because there's so much anxiety, stress, attention span. There's so much happening now with the children that we need to find a way to help them. And every time I go into a school, many times teachers think, okay, meditation, these are kids, first grade, second grade, sixth grade. You might not have their attention for more than 2-3 minutes, but I've always kept them for an hour. And that's also something I share. I've developed a whole meditation program for elementary school teachers or schools or parents, and it's all for free on my website as well. All the meditation exercises that I do, because it helps them. It helps them a lot. And one aspect that's also important is to nurture their creativity and imagination, which this allows them also to cope and to able to overcome a lot of what's happening. But at the moment, that's being taken away from them when we're working with the creativity and the imagination. But yes, children at the moment, a lot suffering with since the lockdowns. But adults as well. I've been receiving a lot of requests for depression, but also addictions now. And alcohol addiction has been one, for sure. It's a great cause that's been affecting everyone. So that's why the work that I do is, the exercise is always the same. The way we help each other is through raising our state of consciousness and our vibration. So that's what I do for, and it's all through different types of meditation. Because yes, we can follow, how can I say, is this meditation exercise where we're being very sort of mindfulness and just focusing on our breath and listening to music. That's definitely going to help you reduce the stress, relax your emotions, the nervous system, but it's not going to help you grow now and gain wisdom and understanding to overcome this obstacle, so you don't have to find yourself back again at this place in the future. So that's why everything I do is based on 2 simple exercises of contemplation and visualization.
So you have to contemplate it, you have to visualize it, whatever it is you do.
Exactly.
Right? You brought a lot of interesting things here that are sitting on the table that we're going to show to the cameras.
Yes.
What exactly did you bring? I want to learn about
Yes. So
first of all, your book.
I brought you a copy of my book, Raising Our State of Consciousness to Fulfill Our Soul's Growth. So I published this book in 2020. So it talks a lot about my my spiritual journey, the experiences I've had. Not all of them, of course, because I probably have 10 full books written of notes of all the experiences. But at least it gives you an idea of my journey, the exercises that I do. But also I teach how you can use tarot for your personal self, for your personal growth, for your spiritual growth. It's
Amazing.
a fully illustrated book. And then I also...
It has a lot of cool pictures of tarot cards, and that's awesome. No, honestly, this is incredible knowledge. Numbers too. There's
Numerology, of course.
Numerology, yes.
And
do I get to keep
Kabbalah.
this book?
Yes, that's
okay,
for
cool.
you.
Very nice. It's going to go over my Artie Lang book.
Nice.
I have books about everything here, things that I like. It's going to go right there. What else did you bring? That's
crystals. Yeah, crystals are very powerful to enhance any meditation practice or just, our environment, or our bedroom or our office. So I brought you to keep
selenite.
A selenite tower. So this is a very high vibrational crystal. So you keep that in your office, your room, your bedroom, and it'll really heighten the vibration of your room. It'll cleanse your room, dissipate the negative energies. But of course, you would need to at least every 2-3 weeks recharge it. But you do that by leaving it under the sun, direct sunlight, either outside or by the window, for 2-3 hours, or even for the whole day.
It's beautiful, by the way.
It's a beautiful.
It is.
It's gorgeous. One of my favorite crystals, for sure.
The old Frank would have made an inappropriate joke here, but no, honestly, I'm trying to move to the next level of consciousness. I'm not even there. So, honestly, and I get to keep this too.
Yes, you can keep that as well.
This is going to stay in my studio. So there's a story, right? That you came here, and I'll tell everybody, you're not going to believe this. I had a shaman here in my studio, and this is selenite.
Selenite.
And I'll explain it. And we need good vibes here. And you brought it. And I feel with David here. No, honestly, like I back in high school, I was a big Rush fan. Okay, and my friends named me because they said I was able to predict some things. I know you're probably going to laugh and say no, but I felt like I had this weird ability. If your ability is 1,000%, mine was maybe 0.001%, okay? But I felt like I had this ability, so they started calling me based on this song from Rush, The Oracle, right? So I felt, I'm the Oracle. But you're a true Oracle, and you're whatever the term is, shaman, Oracle, soothsayer. Some use psychic. You probably don't like that word because that's not what you're about. But it really is interesting stuff, and I'm sure, like you said, with proper knowledge and instruction and teachings, people could get to that next level where they could use abilities they never knew they had. Like maybe those people that said that about me were saying it because they actually felt maybe this guy has something not quite, worked on yet.
Exactly, for sure.
So, okay, what else did you bring?
So now I brought my tarot deck. If you want to do your spiritual journey.
He brought the tarot deck. Now, you notice the only other deck of cards here on the table. We're going to get rid of these ones. The playing cards, we don't need this. We need to replace the playing cards with the tarot deck. Okay, so as you said, the tarot cards are not necessarily, they would be the same ones that a
exactly
clairvoyant would use, same ones, but
78 cards. Again, it's all how you choose. So, I write that I'm a like as you said, a shaman. I don't even meditation master.
You don't like those?
I don't like titles at all.
Okay,
right? Because how can I say? What I do is I don't know what I do. All I know is what
you said that. I don't know what I do.
I don't because
it comes naturally.
It's coming from above.
Yeah.
I just energy that I channeled, and the more I make a commitment and a choice to move forward with what I'm receiving, the more I'm receiving. So I keep following the guidance, and when they guide me in a certain direction, I don't question it or doubt it. I just go with it. So I made a choice to channel for the greater good. So that's how when I use tarot or when I teach tarot, I want to make sure I'm bringing you wisdom and understanding that's going to help you. Because so many people have contacted me to spying on their kids, my husband. I want to know what
spying. So because you could predict this, of course.
But I never crossed.
You're a
this
private
line.
Investigator.
I never crossed this line.
No, that's not what you're about.
That goes against all my morals.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have a hard time understanding the power that you can actually get from speaking with your higher self. And we accomplish that by using this tool, tarot, to open this channel. And me, myself, that I'm here, I facilitate all these. I'm like translating the symbolism that we're receiving and making you understand what we're getting to bring you this wisdom and understanding to help you grow further. But what I'd like to start with today is let's understand who you are. What's your spiritual journey? And then you'll see how every year you have this specific lesson you need to learn. And if you're conscious of what this is, you'll see how your experiences throughout the year will be much more positive because you're aligned with them. And there's two things that are important to understand is that there's no positive or negative experiences. Everything is learning. You're learning, okay? So just whatever it is, just accept it that it's for your greater good. It's because you're learning. Yes, it might seem right now that it's very painful and negative, but you have to embody that emotion. If you need time to overcome it, it's painful. You take that time, heal. You have to find your healing. But you have to be at peace with this experience and be conscious that there's no positive or negative. Everything will help me move forward. And then something else that it's extremely important to understand is that there's nothing that is written in stone, right? So what I will tell you, it's not something that it's going to be the same for everyone else. We all hold different state of consciousness. You can keep rising your state of consciousness. Someone else will be different. So what I'm bringing to you is really unique for you for what you need today. If we have the same conversation in a week from now, in a month,
it might change.
It'll be because you want to grow further. You want to move forward. So nothing is ever written in stone, and that's why sometimes I have these controversial debates of all these sacred texts. Right? For example, the Bible. I spent so many years studying the Bible, but all this knowledge that's written in the Bible, it's written in stone. It's a box. It creates this box, and you have to be within this box. Through time, this book has been altered. Content has been altered. It's been changed. Yeah. So we don't really know the true source, the true teaching. But for sure, that's what helped me overcome my dark chapter. So for sure, when we're beginning, when you find yourself at a lower state of consciousness, like what I was in dark chapter, it'll definitely help you. It'll bring you, it'll start moving the motion. So you're able to start rising and understanding and growing. But then when you reach that point now, I have a hard time believing that I have to dedicate my whole life now living by this book, because yes, it's holy. I believe in it truthfully. It brought me to where I need to be. But the next best thing now is my higher self, because that is the creator of everything that I'm experiencing today. This is what's going to allow me to bring forward. So this is where the next big step we should do is open our channel to our higher self. And you'll see how drastic our lives become, how more positive and full of love. So that's why I always teach that tarot is the only sacred text that has never been altered. And it's been around forever. Nobody even knows the origin of tarot.
Wow.
And the reason why it's been unaltered is because the knowledge is unique to the reader. The knowledge is within your consciousness. These are the symbol sort of that's translating what you're receiving from your higher self. So that knowledge can never be altered by anyone. So if you're accessing it today, you're getting this knowledge today. So that's why I focus a lot on tarot. A lot of my meditation exercise involve tarot, because this is the most powerful tool we can easily have access to. And it'll carry us through our entire personal development or spiritual development journey.
So we're going to do a tarot reading. David is of what would I say? My life? No, not my life.
No.
What's to come?
Before we go into the a reading, let's look at your journey. Okay, so we'll work with numerology just to understand. I'm going to show you a couple of cards, and before I take a couple of cards for this reading, we're only using the 22 major arcana tarot cards. Only the 22 out of 78. So our state of consciousness has sort of these 22 aspects. So our human state of consciousness is divided with these 22 different energies. And each of these energies, they're all associated with a path on the Kabbalah, the tree of life, a letter of the Hebrew alphabet, or a major arcana tarot card. So depending what we're trying to accomplish, if you want to do magic, and magic spelled with MAGICK, which is manifesting a positive change within that is aligned with your will and your higher self. So you want to change something about yourself, you want to transmute something, then I would recommend we're working with letters of the Hebrew alphabet. If you want to receive wisdom and understanding that is aligned with your current state of consciousness, then we'll work with the major arcana tarot cards. But each of these, the letters or the cards, they're all associated with the same divine energy that completes the structure of the human state of consciousness. So you might have, based on your birth date, you might have 3 or 5 of these divine energies. So the first thing is to help you understand what these energies are. And then we can start looking at, okay, this year, what's in store for you this year based on these energies. And then we could look at last year and...
This makes me nervous.
And next year.
Okay, let's do it.
And then from there, you'll see how everything just falls into place.
Yeah. And The only thing I ask is, I know you're going to put the tarot cards on the table. Is there a way before you put them on the table? I don't know if this is going to
Show the camera.
Can we do that?
Of course.
Yeah, because the camera's right in front of you.
Yeah,
So
I can
because
show,
if not, they're not going to see it on the
of course.
the desk. Okay, here we go.
All right. So first things first,
So
your
excited.
birthday and month.
September 2nd.
September 2nd. So we're going to start with some just quick numerology.
I know what the next question is going to be. I'm going to have to reveal something. I'm going to mumble it.
So the first thing I'm going to write. So
Yeah.
the first thing that's important to you
Yeah.
is your path year. So during your path year, that's an event took place. It could have been a positive experience, a negative experience. It doesn't matter because it's part of your growth. But in 1981, something took place, and it left an impression on you. If you know, sometimes you'll know it right away. 1981. Yes, this was
I think
huge.
I do.
And so that's important because that specific experience is completely aligned with your spiritual journey, your spiritual path. So anything you do moving forward, or you always have to make sure that somehow aligned with how you felt during that experience, what you were.
Even if it was a traumatic experience, no matter what.
Yes, no matter what, because even though it was traumatic, then you'll see what's the positive aspect, how you can help others now with what you've experienced.
Right.
And again, you don't have to share it, but as we go further, I'll give you more hints on exactly what that experience was, and then you'll be able to really
I'm going to start crying here, or what?
confirm or pinpoint what that event was. Moving forward.
This stuff trips me out, by the way. It's just incredible.
So let's just see.
So now we're so David has a calculator, which is right in front of me, and he's doing math. I'm pretty good with math.
Numerology.
Sorry.
Yeah, math.
Numerology.
That's exactly what it is. It's math. All right. So the first card I want to show you.
Thank you so much for listening to episode 20 of the Drive-By Podcast, sponsored by Playground, your #1 gaming destination, and just minutes south of downtown Montreal in the Mohawk territory of Ganawagi. You could find this great facility for everything you're looking for when it comes to gaming. I'm your host every single Sunday, and we give you a shot at tens of thousands of dollars, working it towards a $25,000 progressive jackpot in a brand new game show and contest promotion we started just last week called Chase the Ace. Now, you're going to be one of 15 people that are going to have the opportunity to pick from a deck of 15 cards, each worth between $100 and $1,500. Now, if you pick the Ace of Spades or the Ace of Playground, you'll move on towards winning that $25,000 progressive jackpot. The draws begin at 1 p.m. every single Sunday until 8 o'clock, and then at 8:15, I hit the stage over there at Playground and give you a shot at all this great money. And then, at the end of the 8 weeks on July 3rd, it's a Sunday, we do the big game show called Lucky Keys. And by the way, all Chase the Ace winners will win a Lucky Keys license plate golden ticket for a chance to win that 2022 it's fully electric, Mazda MX-30 GT, and it's worth $40,000. That's this Sunday and every single Sunday until July 3rd at Playground. You could check out the link below as well here on YouTube to get your $10 of Freeway, that's me, play. So not bad. You get a head start. You go there, $10 on us, some Freeway play. If you're listening, then go to playground.ca/Freeway Frank.
So it's 19, okay? The sun. So I don't know if it's really far, but you'll see. So the sun, so just I'm going to write it here. This is your life purpose.
So when you do your private sessions, this is what happens, right? So
depending on the type of if it's
what we're doing. Okay.
We always start with something like this because you need to understand exactly the energies that are aligned with your journey, and then we move on with going into tarot readings. But it's actually just me channeling your higher self, and it's you having a conversation with your higher self through these cards, and I'm just here as a channel and as a guide,
channeler or a guide,
or a guide. Okay, so the sun, your life purpose. So when you look at the sun, this is a beautiful energy, happiness, moving forward. But it's also knowing when it's time to leave the past behind you. You've had your experiences. It's time to make this sort of statement where, okay, the past is behind me now. We're starting new. We're starting fresh. And you know what? These experiences, whether they were positive or negative in the past, it doesn't matter. It was a beautiful
Irrelevant.
learning. It's very relevant.
No, not relevant.
It was a learning experience.
Yeah.
But now I'm so full of joy and love. I don't care, man. I'm going forward. We're starting new. Let's start this journey again. Okay, so
we're starting right now, by the way, David.
This is it.
This right now during this podcast. I'm kidding. I'm not joking here.
This is the beginning.
Okay, all right.
So this is your life purpose. So like I said before, the exercise I teach is contemplation. So this is not just the reading that we're doing now. Is I'm showing you the tools that you can use at any time in your life whenever you feel stuck or lost or you've lost your balance, okay? When you feel something happens or you're not sure if you're headed in the right direction in life or you have to make a choice and you don't know if you got to go left or right, this is when you're going to contemplate with the Sun card. And by contemplating with the Sun card, again, you're going to access your higher self, and there's no greater guide for you than your higher self. I'm not giving you guidance. I'm just translating what's coming from above. So whenever you feel stuck in life or you have to make these big life decisions, you want to make sure that you remain aligned with your spiritual journey. You're going to contemplate with the Sun.
I'm taking notes, by the way. I just wrote the Sun on my iPad. I'm serious. I'm not messing around here.
And the way now you contemplate, so I'll teach you the exercise so you can do it at any time, is you're going to take this card and you're just going to stare at it for 10 minutes. You're staring at this card and it's a silent mental process. So as you're staring at this card, you're allowing yourself to explore the world within this card and you're mentally questioning everything that's happening in this card. Okay, who's the child? Why is he on a horse? Where are they going? What's behind him? So you're just questioning everything that you see, anything that grabs your attention or anything that pops in your mind. Just keep silently, mentally questioning this card for 10 minutes. But as you're doing that, you have to remain open to receive. So as you're doing this for 10 minutes, you're going to start sensing something. You'll either have a quick vision, you'll feel something, you'll hear something. You might remember a dream that you had. You might recall something that happened when you were a child. As soon as you receive, you have to write it down in your journal. Because the magic happens once you reread your notes and you allow the experience to resurface in your consciousness. And that's when it clicks. And that's where the wisdom and understanding just becomes very vivid. And that's when you really understand what the message you're receiving at that time was meant for you. So you do that. And if you do this, I always recommend doing this first thing in the morning, because then you have the entire day where you're going to witness this actual divine energy manifesting itself in an experience either that you will have with someone, or you'll just be walking around and you'll just see something happening, and it's going to really bring you back to this experience that you had with the Sun. When you note that experience, that becomes your personal experience with that divine energy. So that remains with you and you carry that forward, and that's going to help you always move forward whenever you start questioning your life, your path, are you making the right decisions? Are you going the right direction?
You'll remember that.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's going to help you reconnect with the Sun card.
Okay.
And that's also is exactly how I teach when someone wants to learn how to read tarot. That's how I teach them. The best way to learn is you have to manifest a personal experience with each of the cards. So you associate, okay, I remember this experience, this is what it means for me. So it's easier when you're translating these symbolic messages that you're receiving.
It's wild when you're actually staring at the card. You start seeing things, and you're like, you see the child, yeah, I mean, it's scary. I don't know. It shouldn't be scary, but you start to realize, like you said, there's a lot more that we just
spiritual world out there.
Yeah, we're not thinking about.
That it's above our physical world. And you just give it a moment and your consciousness opens.
It's amazing.
And things will just start,
almost right away.
Things will start pouring in instantly. So this,
and it's not the Scotch, by the way. It might be the Scotch.
Grounding energy now. So now we're going to look at the grounding energy.
So grounding energy is grounding energy. What is grounding energy?
So the grounding energy is really you lost your balance in life. You just, things are just falling apart, or you feel you can't focus anymore. You have no more creativity. You want to find your balance. How do I find my balance?
Okay.
So let's see here.
And we all go through this, right, David?
Of course.
In other words, you have moments where you feel like you're on top of the mountain, and you have moments, like you said, that you literally feel like you can't walk properly, that you're off balance.
It's a journey. And listen, I've started doing this the exercise of raising your state of consciousness, the 22 days exercise, which is contemplating each day on one of the 22 major arcana tarot cards. I started doing it in 2014. I just finished doing it again maybe last week. I've done it maybe 20 times so far, and you could keep doing it. And you could always keep doing it, because the more you do it, the more you keep growing. And that's how you also, not only are you raising your state of consciousness and growing, you're able to transmute anything within yourself. So there's anything about you that it's time, why do I keep acting like this? It's time I need to let go of this and keep moving forward. You're able to transmute that. If it's a personality trait, it's things that you want to grow out of. By doing this contemplation setting, these 22 days of contemplation, setting your intention, you're going to be able to transmute this part of yourself. So not only are you raising your state of consciousness, you're growing, you're evolving. And that's what I mean by tarot is a tool for personal development and spiritual growth. So let's see here. The world. So your grounding energy. Let's get number 10.
I'm sorry. He just took out a card that says Wheel of Fortune, and it just, it's unbelievable.
So let's look.
I can't even say what this has meaning in me. It's just nuts. Okay.
Let me just make a note here. So grounding.
If my producer were here, by the way, I would show him. Okay, it'll all make sense at some point.
At some point.
This is unbelievable.
These are
Am I
powerful.
supposed to be shocked right now? Because I see this and I'm like,
it's
oh my
amazing
God.
that you're shocked, because you're actually already open to receive. And no matter how ridiculous it sounds, listen.
It's not ridiculous. Yeah.
Or how crazy.
Yeah.
That's amazing, because just make a note of these things.
I have to show this Wheel of Fortune. Okay.
So this, we'll look at it after. This is your assisting energy. Your grounding energy is the Magician. So let's just show the card.
Okay, the Magician. This almost looks like you're playing, Italian cards, scope.
Scope,
right?
yeah. That's it. So the Magician.
Yeah.
So this is a powerful card. And this is part of my emotional breakdown in 2013, was exactly the opposite of this card. The Magician says you're going to open yourself up to receive a lot of energy. Okay? You need to create something with this divine energy. If you don't create something, you don't release it, write a book, do public speaking, release the energy, your physical body is going to burn out. And that's what happened to me. I had a complete emotional breakdown because I was withholding all that divine energy. So that's what the Magician is teaching you, is whenever you really feel you lost your balance, ça marche plus, you can't go forward anymore, contemplate on the Magician, and the Magician will show you how you can be creative, because you have that energy, but now it's blocked. So you need to release it. Find a way and you don't know how to release it, contemplate on the Magician. And you'll find a creative way how you can release this energy. And then you're going to remove this blockages that's keeping you.
I feel that actually, I've been feeling that
okay.
There's so much more I want to do. And that's where I'll leave it at.
All right.
This is scary. This is freaking me out. But anyway, it shouldn't be scary, but it's unbelievable.
So
is what it is.
The card that affected you a lot, Wheel of Fortune. So this is amazing, because this is your assisting energy, okay? And like I spoke about it briefly before, but you showed the card before, Wheel of Fortune. So our assisting energies is really all the experiences in our lives that are going to happen. All your experiences in your life, they're always going to bring this to you, Wheel of Fortune. What is Wheel of Fortune? It's change. It's always bringing you a change. Some believe it's good luck, but I only believe it's good luck if you're well prepared. So change will happen. If you're well prepared to welcome that change, it will be good fortune. If you're not well prepared, then you'll get the bad consequences, repercussions. You'll be set back. You're not moving forward. But all the experiences that happen in your life, there's going to always, always welcome the experiences, the change. Okay, there's always going to be changes, because that's how you grow through changes.
And a lot of people can't accept change, right?
No,
especially
and
corporate change.
They can't let it go.
Yeah.
Since this is your assisting energy, you really have to embody that. Welcome change. When it happens, you don't panic. Just say, how can I be ready to welcome this change? Mm-hmm. And if you do that, you'll be successful. It's really setting your mind state on that, on this assisting energy. And the assisting energy is tricky because it acts differently depending how old we are. So like I said earlier, from 7 to 29, it's our learning years. So learning years is all kinds of experiences are going to happen, positive, negative. Sometimes it could be a mess, left and right, and especially change that's part of your, growing up. How did you feel from 7 to 29, adapting to change or seeking new opportunities or trying to welcome change? Because that acts differently now than when you're between your 30 to 39. Because 30 to 39 now you have to you're studying all the decisions you made in your past, and you have to understand them. Okay, why did I make those decisions?
How did I get here?
Yeah, well, how did I get here? What came out of it? Don't label them as that was a good choice, that was a bad choice. No, this is just understand your train of thought. Mm-hmm. This is the work this card teaches you. So from 30 to 39, experiences happen that start questioning. They're going to start making you question all these things that happened in your past, or they're happening at the moment. And then, like I always tell everyone, life only begins at 40. Once you reach your 40s and you've had all these experiences of life and you've taken the time to learn from them and experience them and accept them, then at 40s, when you're truly empowered to take your path, to make your first step on your journey and sort of manifest the life you truly desire, if you took the time to really understand all the experiences that have happened. But then moving forward, so for you moving forward now, contemplating on temperance, on Wheel of Fortune, is a powerful tool for you that's going to help you even before making any decision. But specifically when you want to, even though there's nothing coming on, you're not aware of anything new that's coming about, anything might happen tomorrow, next week, or next month. So what can you do to be always well prepared? What's the next thing? What's the next thing that I should be ready for this? So that's you would contemplate on this energy for to bring you this wisdom and understanding. So that's Wheel of Fortune.
And when you say somebody, like earlier when you were talking about the sun and staring at the card for 10 minutes, people get these tarot cards. They would have to buy these tarot cards, or how does that work? or just have a private session. You're not saying.
I recommend everyone. You need to own your own tarot.
Oh yeah, that's
okay.
Yeah,
because
that's not a silly question. Yeah.
And what I always say is this is like having your personal psychiatrist in your back pocket. Anytime you're stuck.
Yeah.
You need help. You need guidance. They'll speak to you, the cards.
But the cards are okay. So you've taken out 3 cards. You've done a little bit of numerology, which I call math. Mm-hmm. You came up with these 3 cards. If somebody has these 78 cards on their own, are they shuffling the cards? Are they taking them out? Like, how are they coming up?
So actually, what we're doing today is also available for free on my website. And
so you have to follow the explanation.
Yes, I documented everything,
okay.
all the step-by-step what you have to do. So
basically, whatever is happening now is what you still have to do when you're solo. Okay,
exactly.
Okay. Let's keep going. Sorry.
This is it.
Yeah.
So now we have your path year, 1981, your life purpose, the sun, your grounding energy, the magician, the assisting energy, Wheel of Fortune. Let's look at this year now. Okay, so 2022. So now we're going to start looking into what's the lesson that you need to have this year, but then what can you do to make sure that you're succeeding in this lesson, that you're benefiting from this lesson. Otherwise, it'll just go over your head and you lost an opportunity for growth. Mm-hmm. So what we're going to do here, do some more math.
My math teacher back in high school would always say how important math is. There you go, numerology. The path to life,
and
the guiding light.
How old are you this year, 2022?
Am I turning?
Yeah, in 2022.
I'm going off camera.
Okay, yeah. Okay, fine.
I'm turning.
Okay,
yeah.
good. All right, so let's look at the cards here. Okay, so your yearly lesson for this year is strength. So it's the 8th Major Arcana Tarot card. So if you look at strength here.
And that came out with the numerology.
Of course, that's numerology.
Okay.
So this is for 2022. So this is your yearly lesson. Strength. So strength, if you look at it, it's a powerful card. She's taming a lion, which physically might not be possible. She'll get eaten. But it's really connecting to your higher state of consciousness and knowing that once you connect to this higher state of consciousness, anything is possible for you. So this is what you need to realize this year. Strength. And now with your age, I'm able to determine now you need to embody the state of consciousness. The aspect of the state of consciousness that you need to embody to succeed this is the chariot. So you can show the chariot.
Okay.
So this is what you need to become the chariot in order to embody strength. Okay. And the way you embody the chariot is really, you have to see someone and, it's someone you've had so much experience. You've succeeded. You've had ups and downs, but now you're at the core of your strength. You finally made it to a place where, how can I say? It's like you've finally been appointed the knight of the kingdom. So you're there. You've proved yourself. And what's important now is for you to set your boundaries. Okay, you've worked hard. You suffered. Now you're successful. Make sure now you set your boundaries.
Set my boundaries, career-wise, with other people, with friends, with family, with nature, with spirits.
This is something we could now dive deeper into it to understand.
Yeah.
But setting your boundaries is really going to allow you now to reach your higher state of consciousness.
Okay.
So this is your journey for this year, if you desire to embark on this journey. Because again, we can never force anyone to start this journey. It has to come from within.
Yeah, natural.
You have to, because this is something you have to enjoy, and then it'll truly open up for you. So you becoming or embodying the aspect of the state of consciousness of the chariot. So feeling that you succeeded, you've worked so hard to get to where you are, that now you have to set your boundaries. And it's not about being mean or being negative towards others. It's just about you have your comfort space. You finally reach a point where things are now finally moving forward, because this means you're moving forward. If anybody's, let's say wants to talk to you, waste your time and you just want to be nice to them and give them the time for stuff, it's no more time for that. It's like, I got to focus on my journey now. This is for me, it's my personal journey, because if I do have time available for myself, I have to commit it to my, accessing my higher self. So that's a choice you need to make if you choose this path. And if you do choose this path, now you'll truly start walking on your spiritual journey for reuniting with your soul's journey.
There's nothing crazy about what you're saying, because believe it or not, I've been thinking about this.
Okay.
And I even told my wife, and it's not like you want to eliminate people from your life, but the last 2 years has opened me up to many things and closed me down to a lot of things. But seeing how certain people reacted during how they handled the last 2 years, and like you said, it's nothing negative, but you just don't have time. I don't have time for negativity anymore.
Exactly.
We all get a little negative, but I'm not a cynic. So positive all the way, and let's move on, like you said. So yeah, for sure. I see these two cards, the chariot and strength, and say, yeah, that's definitely something that I want to work on for 2022.
And the way you work on them now is by contemplating on these two cards. So if you're going to ask yourself, okay, but what should I do to make sure I'm aligned with chariot? You just simply contemplate on this card. So if something happens, someone calls you up, you're not sure, you contemplate on chariot, that's the action you have to take. So you're based on this card. If you want to make sure now that, how's my yearly lesson going? How am I achieving? What's my target? What's my objective? Then you contemplate on strength. Or if you want to go really deep into it, you'll just put both cards next to each other and spend 10 minutes, if not even 15 minutes. And I
can take a picture, right?
Of course, definitely.
Because I'm writing notes, and it's going to work better if I just take a picture of it. Okay. Sorry, keep going.
All right. So now we're understanding the present for this year. You can do this exercise, okay, for the past. I did it for my entire life. You do it every single year in the past. What was the lesson you had to learn? What age were you? Did you actually embody that sort of personality to succeed that? And you see how your entire journey in life carried forward. And once you're able to understand your past, you'll be able to understand what's to come in the future. So that's why it's, you don't need to go see a psychic to see your future, to see what's going to happen, or what decision should you make, because you're giving up your free will. And that's something you should always rely on your higher self. And using tarot for yourself as a tool gives you all the answers you need. So once you've studied your past, you're easily now capable of understanding your future. So we'll do the exact same exercise. Let's do last year. Are you okay doing last year?
Yeah.
And then we'll do next year.
Is this going to freak me out this last year, David?
I don't know. We'll find out.
So far, this is pretty amazing for the,
So let's look at 2021.
Unbelievable.
And then you see how you align yourself with what you had to accomplish last year.
Okay. 2021, was a interesting year for everybody. But let's see what David says here. I'm sure this is just as interesting for people who are not having their, tarot cards read, because you don't want to do it. I mean, it's okay. So you just took out a card that says the Lovers.
Let me show this card. So let's show this. This is a very powerful card. Okay?
I only have one, but am I getting another one? Kidding stuff. The Lovers. What does that mean?
I'll explain.
Lovers.
So this year, your age is telling you need to become the Chariot in order to succeed. Last year, that was your lesson. Okay, so the actual lesson you had to accomplish last year is to set up this, to reach the state where you realize that, wow, I've worked so hard to get to where I am. I'm not going to give it up, and I'm not going to let no one sort of tarnish it or take it away from me or sidetrack me. Mm-hmm. So this was your lesson to get to that point. And the way the energy you could have used to accomplish this lesson last year was using the Lovers. So yes, the Lovers is all about, socializing, having fun, enjoying life, but it's also, how can I say, the Lovers shows you that there's always, let's say when an opportunity presents itself, okay, don't jump on it. You have to take a step back, because there's always a second opportunity available that remains hidden. Mm-hmm. So the Lover shows you that before you make any decision, take a step back and just look at what else can I do instead of doing this. Just take the time. And if it takes a month to figure it out, you have to contemplate, but you have to really realize, okay, what's the other way? I could go left, but what's the other direction I can go? Do I go straight, back, or right?
Yeah.
And then only once you find that other direction that's available to you, only then can you make your decision, because only then you'll be able to truly understand which path is the righteous path and which path will lead you to the temptations and obsessions of the devil, because the devil is sort of the counterpart of the Lovers.
Okay.
So last year, looking forward, yes, your objective was to finally reach the Chariot. And then this year, it actually helps you reach the strength, because it's your age energy. It teaches you how to reach strength. And then this is what you had to do last year in order to become.
To get there.
Yeah, to get to Chariot.
Wow. Okay.
So far good. Getting things in your mind flowing.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm just going to tell you something right now. So what's popping in your mind right now, things that you're remembering, and you don't need to share any of that.
Yeah.
That's your personal journey. Mm-hmm. What you need to do, though, is you have to write these down in your journal. And once you start this journey of, starting your spiritual journey, a lot of synchronicities are going to happen. You might wake up in the morning and you're going to have these vivid dreams, or these, you'll remember something from the past, or you just have this lingering thought, okay? As soon as you wake up, you have about 10 to 15 seconds to write it down. If you don't write it down, you're going to lose that message that was channeled through your higher self, because your brain starts imposing logic and rationality, and it just, it dissipates the essence of the true message you were supposed to receive. Mm-hmm. So you might wake up tomorrow and just staring at these images are going to start, getting stuff moving in your consciousness, or you might wake up at 2 a.m. with it might just be a word. You'll wake up with wow, this powerful word. Make sure you have a journal next to you. Take a note of that. That's because that's all going to come together, and things are going to start clicking once you put all these notes together and you start rereading them. So that was for last year. Now let's do the last one for next year, just to get an idea of what's to come. And then we could start, if you want to ask a question, and we can start having this conversation with your higher self. Okay.
So let's do it next year, yeah.
Are you good? Or if you're not comfortable, we don't have to. I don't want to cross into anything that.
No, because 2023 would be the real future, right? So 2022 is in the moment, is this year. So
but 2023, I'm not predicting the future.
No,
I'm just saying, telling you what's the lesson.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Okay.
Because you explained where I came from, where I am, where I'm going.
If you want to grow spiritually, that's your next lesson to learn. Okay. That's all I'm saying. Okay. So, because no matter what actions you take or anything else, the lesson remains the same. So it's not giving you what's going to pop up.
Yeah.
So next year is 2023. So it's probably going to progress again.
There's also numbers that are assigned to all these cards, right? Like 6 to the lovers, and obviously the numerology behind it. They all have a significance.
That's how I'm able to associate the numerology. The additions that I'm doing ends up with a specific number. And that's how I map out, okay, this is the card.
Okay.
Okay, it's beautiful because it's last year, this year, and next year, you have a very beautiful progression. Things are just progressing evenly. But it's amazing because this year...
These cards are so funny. Oh my God.
This year, we're talking about strength, right? It's having this reconnection with your higher self.
Yeah.
And it's sort of exactly what we're doing now. You're beginning to have the spark of... tapping into your consciousness, raising your state of consciousness, you're questioning spirituality, growing spirituality. So this is what's happening this year. Next year, the Hermit.
It made me laugh because it just says the Hermit. And it's strange because in my mind, I felt like, you know what? I'll say it. I've been like, you know what? During my radio career, I'm at all these events, charity events and big events happening, radio station, I'm out, and Frank, oh, hi, like you're in the middle of everything. And then we went through the last 2 years, and now I feel like a bit more of a hermit. I came out over the weekend, hanging out with my friends. We all saw each other, and everybody was like, hey, you showed up, type thing. So as soon as I saw the Hermit, I felt like, wow, is this the road I'm going down? I just feel like I don't necessarily have to be the center of attention anymore. Not that I ever did, but I just feel happy within myself and my body, and being, not reclusive, but...
It's exactly what you said. You see, you already have your intuition that's very... your intuition is very developed. And this is why this year, you have this powerful spiritual growth opportunity if you choose.
Yeah.
You're already understanding everything, because what's happening with the Hermit next year is you need to reach a point where everything you just said about, the going out and being the center of attention and seeing everyone, saying hi to everyone, the Hermit is time to get away from all these physical, pleasures, activities, and all the materialistic physical world and distractions and all these events and parties. Next year is you need to find that it's time to just put everything on hold and just go deep within yourself. And there's no other better way to do that than you're actually starting to meditate. When you're actually starting to meditate, you're going deep within to discover the true spiritual that's within you, but that's also above all of this physical world. So once you get away from all the distraction of the physical materialistic plane, you notice that there's an even greater powerful reality that is the spiritual realm, or higher state of consciousness, your divine soul. So next year, your lesson, if you choose, is really you have to feel that, and it's not a negative aspect. It's not that you're just gonna lock yourself at home and just be sad by yourself. No, it's wow. It's like you're gonna have these moments where you're going deep within yourself, and you're gonna reach this state where you're connected with everything, and you have these realization moments where you just understand so much more about yourself, but about life. So you need to gain this understanding next year, but you cannot gain that if you're still out in the physical materialistic world, connecting and indulging in pleasure, superficials and stuff,
which I hate anyway. But.
So next year it's time to take a step back, and it's not for the rest of your life. It's just for next year. This is the opportunity. And the way you're going to accomplish that, again, is what you're learning this year. And what are you learning this year? You're learning about the higher states of consciousness. So what you're learning this year is the tool that you're going to use to succeed this. So for example, right now you're learning about contemplation, right? So this is just what you're learning. Next year, that's what you're going to need to use as a meditation technique to go deep within yourself and get away from all the distractions to find this connection with your higher self. And contemplation, again, because when people think about meditation, it's, all you think about is you close your eyes, try to clear your thoughts, clear your emotions, or listen to music. That's just a small aspect of the meditation techniques that are out there. I always call that, it's as if it's a passive meditation technique that's going to allow you to find your peace and harmony, your balance, and everything. But if you need to grow and you want to evolve, you need to do more active meditation techniques like contemplation. Contemplation is a very powerful meditation exercise, but instead of sitting quietly and just trying to empty your thoughts, you're just allowing yourself to explore, to be consciously exploring and questioning. So it's a very active process, but it's an extremely powerful meditation exercise. So meditation comes in many different forms. And another powerful meditation exercise that I teach is visualization. And I'm not talking about you want to visualize your future. I see my house and my, my car. No, visualization is really you're developing as you're doing breath work. So you're controlling breathing.
I was going to ask that through breathing.
Yeah, you're controlling your breathing as you're breathing in, holding your breath in, breathing out, holding your breath out. But you're visualizing divine light. So you have to really depict this divine light that's going across your body. And then when you're able to do that, then the final level that allows you to raise your vibration is you're visualizing in 3D objects each of your chakras as you're doing this breath work exercise. And once you finish this and you realigned all your chakras, then your Sahasrara chakra opens up. And sometimes if you're ready and your higher self knows that you're ready, you'll go out. You'll go out and you'll have this experience that will bring you more understanding. All of my meditation exercises now, I'm always connecting out. And I tell my kids and my wife, I'm like, okay, listen, I'm going to meditate. I'm leaving. I don't know when I'll be back. Okay, just have fun. And sometimes I'll be gone for 40 minutes, 30 minutes. Sometimes it might be 4 hours. But you'll receive everything you need in that specific time and place. Your higher self knows exactly what you need. It knows what you're struggling with. It's going to give you exactly what you need to overcome whatever obstacle you're facing. And that's the power of meditation. So it goes beyond just, sitting quietly and just going within.
It's not what people think meditation is.
It's an aspect.
It's part of it, but it's not the whole experience.
If you want to be empowered with your own life, you want to take your life in control and really manifest the desired changes that you want to see within your life, you have to take action. You have to work. It takes commitment, it takes time. Contemplation, it takes you 10 minutes a day, that's all. Visualization, that's probably when you reach the final level, it's 20-minute exercise at the base. But if you need to receive a lot more, when you check out, you might be gone for an hour or two. You don't decide. But at that point, you're not even questioning time anymore.
No.
And the most powerful thing about this exercise is that you hear people saying that, I want to connect with the universe, and I want to feel one with the universe. That is exactly what's happening. When you come back from that experience, you become so focused and connected with everything around you. It's as if you're telepathic and you're so in the zone. Like you're seeing hockey, the players are really in the zone. You're in 20 minutes, you do an exercise and you reach the state and you maintain that state after. And it's such a powerful, empowering state. And like you said before, anybody can learn this exercise. I'm not gifted, to that only I can. No, I made a choice to dedicate myself to learn as much as I can and then to share this knowledge with everyone so everyone can learn it. And, I've done, it's over 25 years I'm meditating, but it's not going to take you 25-year journey because I've done all, how can I say, I understood, I've experienced so much that I refined it now that anyone in any state of consciousness now, you're able to start your journey. And that you begin, you start, and tarot became such a powerful tool now that because of tarot, you're able to initiate these exercises and these experiences and this growth that we have within.
So we did a couple of stages here within my tarot reading. And this is what you would do in your private session if you had people.
This is just the starting point, just to understand what's happening.
Because we're not going to keep going.
But I mean, sometimes this lasts a whole hour, if not more.
So if somebody were to call you and see you, it's about 60 minutes.
Yeah, usually it's about an hour. Okay. We do this, and sometimes this is just they receive so much because again, most of everyone we know, like you said, that. How everything is starting to make sense because you already had ideas. This just makes it very obvious, very clear. Yeah. And I'm teaching you the tool now of how you're going to use this. I'm not just giving you information. I'm teaching you now because the real guidance is going to happen once you start contemplating with these cards. So I'm teaching you how to use this tool, and the true growth happens once you start these exercises. So we'll do an hour like this, and if it's usually all my sessions are on Zoom. but some people prefer always one-on-one. So either I do house calls or I'll go to a studio to do a session. But what I do for every session is, if they don't have a tarot deck, is, okay, just either you take a picture of each of these cards, or on my website, I have these exact same images available. You can just use them from the website.
Okay, after the fact, after they're
because
on their
all
own.
I'm doing now is I'm giving you the theory.
The theory behind it.
And but now you have to apply the practical. And you apply the practical by contemplating now. So this is your tool set. In life, all you need is these, which one was it? The 3 cards. This is all you need. The Sun, the Magician, the Wheel of Fortune. Anytime you're stuck in life, you have to make powerful decisions.
Yeah.
These are the 3 cards you have to contemplate with.
The Wheel of Fortune kills me. Sorry.
And then, of course, you can reference these with the yearly lesson. So the year in reference, so let's say it's 5 years from now, something big is happening. Always take a step back and see, okay, but this year, what is it? What's happening this year? What do I need to be conscious of? What's my lesson? So you have to be, because you really have to be conscious of that. And then you could contemplate with those cards, your age and that year lesson, and those 3 cards. So these never change. These are forever there. And the most powerful years that you'll ever have, and when you do this exercise in the past, you'll see that the most powerful events happen when the yearly lesson is your life purpose. Okay? That's when you have these powerful calling, some powerful event happens, because this is a real, it's calling out to you. It's like, listen, you got to get on your spiritual journey. It's really, it's like, everyone says that, some people, they got their divine calling and they went on their path, either to priesthood or spiritual path. And it'll happen. You'll see when these powerful events, it happens because the Sun when it becomes your yearly lesson, these powerful things happen. And the amazing thing is that the first time this happens is when we're 9 years old. When we are 9 years old, that is the first time that we experience our life purpose energy as a yearly lesson. So that's why kids, and my son was 9, he just turned 10. But I see he doesn't understand it yet. But I mean, I work with tarot with my kids. Even my 2-year-old daughter this weekend, she took a tarot deck. She picked the Wheel of Fortune. She picked the Wheel of Fortune. She sat down with her tutu, her dog, and I took a picture. She's so cute. And she starts talking to her tutu just with this card. Is amazing.
It's pretty amazing.
But kids connect with these. But I worked a lot with, that's why I teach meditation in elementary schools, especially when they're 3rd grade, 4th grade. I don't necessarily use tarot cards. I use a lot of crystals, because children really have this powerful connection with crystals. So when I do a session, every child gets a pouch with 3 or 4 crystals. And then I teach them how to open their palm chakras. We have energy centers in our palms. And once they open that and they hold the crystal, they actually start sensing and feeling the energy. And they feel empowered. And that just fascinates them. And that's how then I'm able to keep them for a whole 1-hour meditation session, because it's as if you open a door that they've always felt, but they were scared that it was too out of the ordinary to step into. But then when they feel it and they know but this is real, and he's showing us, wow, this is real. And they connect so much with these spiritual tools. My kids, they all have their own tarot decks collection. I mean, I personally have a collection of almost 500 different tarot decks. There's so many different tarot decks out there. This is the most powerful one that I use when I do readings for others, simply because the Rider-Waite-Smith is the one that has, for me, it has the most energy that's been embodied in the collective consciousness. So it's you just by looking at this card, you're already sensing the energy, you're already clicking with them. True. Because we're all connected with this greater collective consciousness. And you're tapping into something that's so many light workers have used. We have poured so many energies into that, and it's shared across the collective consciousness. But my kids have different tarot decks for kids, and they are powerful, powerful tools. So because of this, now that's why when I did my events is really to shed this light on how powerful tarot can be.
You're on Instagram,
Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. So on YouTube, something else I want to share when we talk about visualization. So I share this powerful guided meditation, and it's a 5-minute meditation you can follow. And I also did one for children.
And is it called Golden Light Academy on YouTube?
No. If you go on Golden Light Academy, you'll have the links for everything. All my different links.
Golden Light Academy is the website.
Yeah. .com.
Okay. And then to get to
Instagram is David Lacopo.
Yes.
Facebook is David Lacopo. YouTube, I don't have a direct name through it, so you could link through it. But all the videos, the videos are on my website, Golden Light Academy.
Okay,
But there's the Golden Light visualization that I teach, and it's a very powerful 5-minute exercise that you could do right before going to bed. And it's so powerful because it temporarily raises your vibration. And when that happens, you're able to dissipate your fears, your stress, any negative energies around you. You're able to access this higher state of consciousness. You feel your body that's become so powerful because you're reinforcing your aura. And when that happens, anything negative that's not aligned with your higher self, it just moves away. So that's something I always tell everyone, do it at least 2-3 times a week. I have a version for children as well. I teach that to kids, my kids, every night, or even in the morning before they have an exam, because it really helps them focus and maintain that focus. So that's available on my website. You can follow that guidance. And if you practice that, for sure, the first couple of sessions, you might struggle with visualization. It's normal. If our third eye is not really developed, you're going to close your eyes. I'm asking you to see a golden light. This guy's crazy. I don't see nothing. You don't have to see it.
No.
All you have to do is believe that it's there.
It's there. Yeah.
And the more you do it and you believe that it's there and you're becoming more confident, you're actually, how can I say, you're investing in your third eye and your skills of developing your visualization. And with time, you're going to start seeing it. I remember my second son, the first time he was able to see a golden light, it was this amazing moment for him. He's like, Papa, I saw the golden light. It was so bright. It was shining all over. It was amazing. And where before he was just listening to me and just believing that there was this golden light. And I guide you to move this light to certain places. So the more you do this golden light, the more you're developing your visualization skills. And then it prepares you to really do the full meditation exercise to raise your vibration. But that's not the only thing that happens. And what I tell everyone is the more you practice this 5-minute meditation exercise, it's like you're building, what I tell everyone is like you're building this sort of like golden shield around you. So once you're very comfortable with this exercise now, at any moment in life, you find yourself in any location, any place, if you start sensing anything negative or you just get scared for something, you can just close your eyes and you'll be able to instantly manifest this golden light that covers your body instantly, and everything negative just sheds automatically. Mm-hmm. So that's something I teach everyone because it is a powerful exercise. And because of everything, all the lockdowns we've had the past 2 years, our state of consciousness is impacted. There's a lot of fear, a lot of panic. Man, the only way truly out of this fear and panic is you need to overcome the fear. But how do you overcome the fear? And it's through spiritual, is within. Mm-hmm. And that's why we need to understand that in this physical material world that we live in, there's a greater reality that remains spiritual, and you need to be able to access it. And something that's amazing is that someone reached out to me and said, I really believe in it. I need to do it, but promise me that I will not experience anything negative, any negative entities, or I cannot see anything evil. But you cannot, because if your higher self requires a specific experience to take place, you have to be ready to face it and then learn how to overcome it. Mm-hmm. I'm here as your guide. That's why sometimes when I use the word shaman is because I'm more of a guide. I'll be here
between
supporting
good and
you.
Evil and
Guiding you. I understand everything that's out there. I understand how things work. If you do fall below, I'll be able to pick you up and show you how you could bring yourself back up. But if you're still fearing it so much to the point that you're going to stop yourself from beginning your journey, it's simply you're not ready, and that's fine. It's fine. Don't feel that you're not good because you can't accomplish it now. You'll know when it's ready. And there's other stuff you can do in the meantime. You can do contemplation. Mm-hmm. Nothing negative will ever come out from contemplation. It's a very safe exercise. But like I said before, yes, mine lasted 15 years. But now that I've developed this, I have all the knowledge and wisdom that I share with everyone freely. You don't have to go through that anymore. Yes, you'll have to face it because everything ends only when you face your inner demons, when you face your fears. Sometimes people have gone through really bad traumatic experience in the past, right? And it's bottled within. If you don't let it go, that thing it could kill you. It'll eat you up. Or it'll come out through a really bad illness or disease. Mm-hmm. But you cannot release it if you don't bring it to your consciousness and face it once more. Mm-hmm. And yes, it is painful. But I'm here supporting you and guiding you. And then once you're able to release it, it's as if you feel alive again. And I always think back of the Lord of the Rings, when the king, I don't know if you saw the movie, when the king had this spell with his sort of sidekick that was, he was manipulating him and mm-hmm. putting a spell, a curse on him. And once they got rid of him, the king was able to open his eyes and I was able finally to see again. It's that kind of moment.
Yeah.
Once you remove all that fear, and whatever you were
You could see clearly.
you see clearly. And sometimes the fear of facing it is more than the actual action of facing what we're holding deep within. Because you're so scared to do it, but you know what? Once you do it, it isn't that bad. It's okay. You cry, it's fine. You let it out, but then that's it. You feel so much lighter.
Yeah. I really feel much lighter. I really feel, honestly, like you opened me up to this, and it's this other world, but it's not this other world. It's my world, but a different level of consciousness, like you said. And I do feel like I could breathe a breath of fresh air that you've made me realize, and I know a lot of people watching, a lot of things that we as everyday people don't think of unless we have proper guidance like yourself or guiders who could bring us there. So David, thank you for your knowledge. Thank you
My
for
pleasure.
your wisdom. Thank you for everything you shared, for doing the tarot card reading. Hopefully we didn't freak anybody out, because I know there's a lot of people that are skeptical. And, and I'll be the first to admit I've been skeptical about this in the past. But having seen the 7 cards that you put out here and your explanation of those cards, where I was, where I'm going, where I am as well, it all makes sense. It's clear to me that we all need to do a bit, more work on ourselves, to meditate, to open up our minds. And I think you started that here today. And it's the reason why I invited you here to my house, because I was hoping that this, and I should say podcast. I was going to say this session, would get us there, but it is kind of like a session. And it's a real eye-opener. And I invite anyone who is watching to contact Dave, if they're skeptical, to go to your website once again, which is the Golden Light.
Yeah, goldenlightacademy.com.
And to find out more about how you can see the light, because everybody has this ability to unblock the third eye, right?
That's
see
right.
the light. David Lacopo, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I look forward to having you back again.
No, for sure.
In the
Definitely.
past. In the past. In the future.
You're really connecting now.
In the past, what I was trying to say is, I was trying to be funny, to have you again here in the future, in the present, and in the past on our spiritual journey together. See where I was going with that?
That's awesome.
David, thank you so
very
much. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to episode 20 of The Drive-By this week, brought to you by Playground. Don't forget to grab your $10 in Freeway Play. That's me. See, they usually call it Free Play, but they changed it to Freeway Play. So that's really cool. Go check it out. Do that. Playground.ca/Freeway Frank. Do that right now. Or by clicking on the link, even easier here on YouTube, click on the link below to get your $10 in Freeway Play. Also at Playground, they have something for everyone you'll want to check out every day of the week. It's Pas de Rouge on Mondays and Fridays. They have free gas Tuesdays, Booming Wednesdays, and Ladies Night Wednesdays, Hot Seat Draw Thursdays, and just like an Italian wedding, Sweet Saturdays, where Playground rolls out the sweet table, but a lot earlier than midnight. It's at 10 p.m. 10 p.m., Sweet Saturdays at Playground, for those who have a sweet tooth or those who just want to look and maybe have one or two. Find out why everyone is talking about Playground. We'll see you there in person, or to find out more about all the promotions and contests and game shows happening, go to playground.ca for more info and details. And thank you so much to Playground for sponsoring this episode of The Drive-By.
This is The Drive-By with Freeway Frank.
Watch all episodes of The Drive-By on YouTube. Listen in on Spotify, Apple, Google, Amazon, Podbean, and tune in.